So now that she's done, he takes his fingers back and like licks them and goes, "Mashinende." What?
Daddy, chill.
What's up, idols? It's Cece Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. It's story time. Sorry if you guys remember Jersey Shore, then that means something to you. It's time for more story time, guys. So this is one of those stories where I could not wait to tell people about it. It's a lot, yeah. But most of her email was intimate detail that will get demonetized on this platform. Very descriptive. So lots of detail. I felt like I was reading smut. Very spicy email. If you want that version of this story, the link below will take you to my Patreon and you can see it there. But I also wanted to share this because what a story, what an experience. Y'all are out here living. And normally we talk about, oh, this dude got away with rape in Korea. This person was stalked and assaulted. This person spreading STDs, cheated on his girlfriend, hit a kid. It's nice to talk about something fun and consensual with adults, you know? This is a story. Okay, let's just dive right in. Today's story stars Tiana, Princess Tiana, and her boy toy Min. So Tiana has been living in Korea for years and years. At this point, she has a routine. Copy and paste, not a whole lot happening. This boy, you know, things are going well with her and Min, but they haven't really labeled anything yet. They've been dating for a few months and they date, they hang out, they hook up. And eventually her friends are like, when do we get to meet this boy you've been spending so much of your time with? Like, if y'all aren't boyfriend and girlfriend yet, we need to find out why. So Tiana was actually looking forward to that because she's like, you know what? Yeah, it would be nice to get my friend's feel for him. Like, dude, does he pass the friend vibe check, you know? If he does, then maybe we can move on to boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. If not, then no love lost. We had our fun. So they all agree to meet up in Hongdae for some Korean barbecue, nothing too crazy. And one thing that is worth noting and important to know for this story is the seating in this Korean barbecue joint is not like the barrels or seats that you normally see. Like, it's actual booths, which is nice. Who doesn't love a good booth? You'll see why that's important in a minute. Min and Tiana are the first to arrive. Since they arrive there first, they eye the menu, they look at the drinks, they look at the food, they smell the food, they're really hungry. But the first thing Min wanted to do was order some soju because, you know, you're meeting new people, you get nervous. Alcohol loosens you up a little bit. So he took a shot and just wanted to get, you know, prepared to meet all the girls. So they were about to order without them because they were waiting for a while when finally Tiana's 3 friends walk in. So it's going to be 5 of them total. So because they already have this bottle of soju, because Min wanted to warm up, he's like, hey, ladies, anybody want a shot? And they're like, no, we want to eat first. So he felt a little embarrassed, like, oh, okay, fuck, wrong move. But it was fine. And Tiana actually took a shot with him, like, oh, see, you're fine. We're good. But keep in mind, they're drinking on a somewhat empty stomach too. So the effects are going to be a bit more intense. So you know how it depends on which Korean barbecue place you go to. Sometimes it's the staff who serve the meat, cook the meat, cut it up for you. Other times it's you do it yourself. So Min decided, I'm gonna treat these ladies like princesses, and he gave them the full princess treatment. He's flipping it, grilling it, cutting it, slicing it, and serving it right on their plates. You want to let us try? You need more garlic? Like, just being, you know, helpful, perfect gentleman. Tiana could tell that her friends liked him because when they would ask him a question, they would look at her like, you know, give her that approval look, like, okay, girl, I see you. So not only could Tiana tell that her friends liked him, but Min could tell that they all liked him. And it's funny because when he first got there, he's like, oh, my English isn't that good. But the more drunk he got, he just felt more confident speaking English. Between the 5 of them, they finished like 4 bottles of soju. And it was mostly Min who finished that bottle of soju. Everything's going well. The friends like each other. And they're in Hongdae. So when they first got there, they're like, you know, depending on how this is going, maybe we should all go clubbing after, you know? Like, maybe we could have fun and dance the night away as a group. And if it went bad, we'll see you, bye. But if it went good, let's go clubbing, you know? As they're sitting there digesting their food, they're almost finishing. Like, there's still so many sides that they want to finish. They're looking up places to go. Oh, I heard this place was fun. I heard this place was good. So it looks like things are going well enough that they're going to go clubbing after. Everything, past the vibe check, past the friend check, everything's good. So needless to say, Min's a little tipsy, and so is Tiana. Just to illustrate the seating arrangement a little bit, Min is here and Tiana is sitting to his right. So, you know, they're sitting there finishing up their food and their drinks and stuff, and he puts his hand, you know, on her leg. nothing too crazy. He does that from time to time, but then he starts moving his hand up farther up her thigh, and she's like, dude, what are you doing? And he doesn't stop. He just kind of like keeps going, and now his hand is like outside of her underwear, and she's like, dude, my friends are right there. What the fuck are you doing? But apparently he gave her this look that made her just kind of go like, okay, do whatever you want. Like I said, I gotta be careful with how I word this, on this platform. He takes his hand and starts rubbing her, so she lets him continue to rub her. The booth was able to hide what they were doing, so the friends were none the wiser. She's trying to play it cool, like he's not doing what he's doing, but he's also looking at her while he's doing it to gauge her reaction, like, does she like this? Does she like that? And again, they're a little tipsy, so the friends are like, oh, I know what club we're gonna go to. Tiana made a noise, and her friends were like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I think I had too much soju, like there was even one point where she's like biting her lip, and she's sitting on the table like this, and she bites her lip, so she kind of like to stifle it. So he kind of pulled back, like, girl, you gotta be quiet if we're gonna do this. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna be quiet, get back to it. He like licks his fingers and goes back, but this time inside the undies. He's in there. Tiana's starting to squirm a little bit, and she's to her friends like, oh yeah, I've been to that club. That club is great. And luckily, since she was a little bit buzzed, she was able to just pass it off as like, oh, I don't feel well. I need some water to sober up. So her friends got up, brought a new bottle of water over. She's like, I'll be good. Just give me a few minutes. Chugs the water. So they're all putting in their opinions for, we should go to this club first. We should go to this club first. And they're asking Tiana. She's like, I'll go wherever you guys want to go. Like, it doesn't matter to me. She doesn't really have much she can contribute because she said it's really hard to talk right now. After a while of doing this, Min says, do you want to finish now? And she's like, oh, like, you got it like that? You can just control it like that? So she's like, yeah, all right. So then he starts to use 2 fingers instead and was going faster, and she did finish. So now that she's done, he takes his fingers back and like licks them and goes, Mashinande. What?
Daddy, chill.
You need to leave. That is disgusting.
I mean, I'm trying to imagine this, right? Like, she's taking deeper breaths and stuff, so she's just like, Tiana says, I need to go to the bathroom. And one of her friends goes with her because she's worried she might throw up or something. And she's fine. She just needed to clean up the mess a little bit. So everything's fine, everything's good. They get cleaned up, pay the bill, and they head out to a bar called Dis. And Dis is a hip hop place. They really wanted to hear some hip hop music. She said the music was good, it wasn't too crowded, and they danced. She wanted to dance with him. She was, in the mood after what he just did. They basically club and bar hopped for the rest of the night. And as they got to more and more places, they're dancing, they're, feeling each other. She makes it her little mission to go to the bathrooms and see if it's clean enough to do part 2 in the bathroom. Not number 2, part 2 to what just happened at dinner. If the bathrooms were too gross, the floors were sticky, if it was crowded in there, they were like, no, let's see what the bathroom looks like at the next place. Every club they went to, every bar they went to, she's like, these bathrooms are gross. I can't do it in these bathrooms. Min was on board, by the way, to doing it in public. He said, we don't need to go in a bathroom. We can just go outside. She's like, I'm sorry, what? Like, what do you mean? It's the weekend. We're in Hongdae. There's a billion people outside. He's like, I know a place that's a little more secluded. It's not that far from here. Let's go. She's having all this drink in her. And she agreed. She said, okay. So she let him lead her out the club. And she tells her friends, we're just going to get some air. We'll be right back.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying?
So they did go for a walk, and it actually wasn't too far from where they were. And it was a park, like a smaller park that she didn't know was there. She thought it was someone's like private space or something. They heard voices, they heard music from the clubs and the situations around them, but they didn't see anyone. So they felt like, okay, this could actually work. So there's a bench there, and they sit on the bench. First he sits down, then she sits on his lap. It's like 4 a.m, by the way, at this point. They do take deep breaths and kind of enjoy the fact that they're outside of these smoky bars and clubs. And they take a minute to appreciate it. And they kind of reflect on the night. She's like, so how do you like my friends? I think they really like you. And he's like, yeah, like they're so nice. They even bought me drinks. Like, I'm so not used to girls treating in that way, like at all. So after a while of gushing over the night and gushing over each other and how well things were going, they started to make out. And eventually, Tiana didn't really care if she heard voices anymore. Again, she said it's probably the alcohol, but like, inhibitions get lowered.
Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin.
So she's sitting in his lap, facing him, and they're kissing. She had on a skirt. All he had to do was unzip, and There you go, right? She has a view behind him because she's facing him, and she, you know, every now and then she looks and she's like, I hope he's doing the same behind me, because she's not trying to. And, you know, she's bouncing.
Slow it down, make it bounce. 지금부터 fly. 청량부터 vibe.
And they're doing it. And she's shocked, like, oh my God, I'm doing this. This is when she started to feel so excited. The rush of adrenaline. She's like, oh my God, this is intense. This is amazing. And she did see people walking by, but she said they were either looking for their taxi, they were drunk, just completely not paying attention to what they were doing. And she made a good point, because in Korea, like the PDA culture, you don't really do that. So in the off chance you do see someone kissing or making out or being a little too physical in public, you tend to look away because it makes you uncomfortable. Like, oh, I shouldn't be looking at that. So instead of gawking at what looked to be a couple making out, people looked away. So they were bouncing on this bench for a few minutes, and Tiana's knees started to hurt, and she told him. So they decided to transfer over to a tree. Now this tree wasn't like big or thick, like it was a normal tree, not really hiding anything, but it was sturdy enough to like support her back against the tree. And he had her there, she wrapped her legs around him, and they had fun at the tree.
Are you coming to the tree?
Wow, that song fits here in so many ways. So like I said, they've been dating, hanging out, and hooking up for a few months. But she did notice that this night, she felt like he was so much better. So it got to the point where she's feeling herself build up, you know, to that moment. And she like threw her head back and she was like, oh my gosh, it's happening again, which is unfamiliar for her because she always said she enjoyed her private time with him, but it was never like this good. So she was kind of surprised, like, oh my God, it's happening again. But he finished before her. He asked her like, how was it? You know, are you good? And she's like, yeah, I was almost done too. He said, oh, almost? You didn't? Without a word, without her responding, he just goes down and finishes her.
Finish him.
This time she was much more nervous because before, you know, if a couple did look at them, they could just say we were just making out. But like, if her back's against a tree and his head is up her skirt, you can't really say we're just making out. He's making out with the wrong set of lips. Once again, she finished. It took a minute, but she was trying to like tell him like, hey, stop, I'm done. So they finally finished, and she's just sitting there like thinking about what just happened. Like, oh my gosh, is this my thing? Am I into this? And what's funny is she looked around to like see if anyone saw, and there was an old lady kind of staring at them. She didn't really care because she was just one old lady. And I don't know if you guys have been like out, especially in Hongdae late at night. You do see a lot of ajumas collecting cardboard and stuff. And it's kind of sad to think that a woman that old has to work at like 4 a.m. for so little money. But for some reason, Tiana wasn't really bothered by this one woman stopping and looking in their direction and clearly noticing what they were doing. But she said, I think I need to have like a talk with men about how I enjoy this. They've hooked up over the past few months. And while he was good, you know, she enjoyed her time with him. It was never this good. So she's like, maybe heightened adrenaline and the excitement of the whole situation just makes me more into it, and it makes it easier to enjoy it more. I'm just trying to not use keywords here, get demonetized. She was curious if it was like men's thing too, or if he just wants to do it wherever, whenever. But yeah, guys, that was our girl Tiana discovering that she likes doing things like that in public. Not necessarily, and she made sure to like distinguish this, not necessarily an audience. Like, she doesn't like strangers and people watching her, but she likes the rush and the risk that they might see or notice, and that makes it exciting to her, and that's the part she enjoys. So if you guys know what this is, if you can relate, if you know what's up, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, it was nice to finally get a story time out there that was like fun and exciting and interesting and not depressing or dark or like a bad ending. Like, this was a happy ending in more ways than one. So Tiana, thank you so much for sharing this part of your life with us, especially, you know, your self-discovery, because it's cool to learn new things that you like and don't like, and am I into this? And you know, that's cool. So I wish all the best for you and men. I hope y'all eventually become boyfriend girlfriend, especially since the friends like him, especially since he's really good at what he does. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.